Good morning to all of you. Dear friends, today we are going to be discuss something about health and disease management of livestock. Dear friends, before going to the subject proper, it is better to understand why you are going to be discuss this chapter or this unit. All of you know that India is having 2.8% of global land area and 18% of human population, global human populations. So within a small area, 5% of the global population is housing in India. In the other side, actually the human population is going in the high and the land area, particularly the agricultural land area, arable land area is going down in condition. So in these conditions, how are you going to meet out the demand, human demand, that is the food, how are you going to meet out the demand of this human population? That is a big questionable mark. So keep it in mind only, the agricultural scientists are increasing per unit production. So instead of 4 tons per hectare, 10 tons per hectares like that. So in addition to that, and present these situations that actually the people are more prone for these veterinary, that is animal protein and vegetables, fruits, and this actually is a growing trend because of this change in the global scenario and other things. So all of you know that actually is livestock actually is a very good source for this human food. But in spite of that, we are not in a position to provide the growing demand to the public or to the human populations. For example, still 1/3 of this human population are not getting a meal per day. Another 1/3 of populations are undernutrition. They are not getting the balanced diet and other things. So this is the prevailing situations. But fortunately, India is possessing more than 50% of the global livestock population. Really is an asset. So even our national father, that is our father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi says a country rich in livestock is never poor. At the same time, a country poor in livestock is never rich. So fortunately, we are having more than 50% of this livestock population, and we stand first in buffalo population, second in cattle and sheep population, third in sheep and goat population, and fifth in that is the poultry populations. But in spite of that, we are not in a position to feed the growing population, and the farmers also not getting a sustainable income because of this frequent outbreak of endemic epidemic diseases. And every year there is, every 2 years actually is one emerging or re-emerging diseases is occurring. So that actually the farmers are losing very huge amount, not only by the death of this livestock, but treating the animals, production loss, and it is threatening to the human population also. So it is high time to understand the health and management of the disease. So with this following actually is the objectives we are going to be discussed these chapters. The objective is to develop strategies for control of infectious diseases, importance of biosecurity management, and economic importance of this disease management. So before going to the subject proper, it is better to understand how the disease is transmitted. So disease is transmitted by 2 ways. One is direct and the other is the indirect methods. So the direct method is from infected animals to these suspected populations by direct contact. Another is through an intermediate. It is not direct, it is through an intermediate host or vectors. So in which actually is the pathogens, either it is a protozoan, viral organisms, to undergo a part of the life cycles and then transmitted to these suspected populations. And it's a type of transmission. So various types, actually the disease, the pathogens are transmitted either directly or indirectly, or horizontal transmission, or these vertical transmissions. The direct transmission is a typical example is rabies and brucellosis. If the rabid dog, if you contact the salivation or bite, whatever things, if you contact them suspected, that is infected materials, automatically we are harboring the disease. So that is that is a direct contact between the infected and the susceptible animals. And this indirect transmission is, as I told you before, the pathogens, the infected pathogens transmitted from the infected host to the susceptible host by an intermediate vectors. That's the most important thing. So the intermediate vectors may be an insect, or it may be the snails. So like that, or it may be some even that actually is wild animals, rodents, etc., etc., etc. So example actually is FMD, foot and mouth disease. Actually is if there's infected materials, actually is if the susceptible animals they contact the infected materials, that is particularly this fomites, automatically it will harbor the disease. And the other typical example is anaplasmosis by ticks. So ticks bite, inoculate the organisms and develop this anaplasmosis. Another is horizontal transmission from direct contact from infected to suspected animals. Another thing is a vertical transmission. So vertical transmission from these mother to offsprings from the womb or the development fetus, it harbor the disease. The standing example is brucellosis and trichomoniasis or IBR, whatever things. And how this actually is disease mode of transmission, how the disease is transmitted. A disease spreads in any one of these or in combination of these the following categories. For example, is injection, inhalation, contact, inoculations, iatrogenic or coitus. If you take that injection, so if any contaminated material, for example, drooping of saliva in rabies, foot and mouth. So if the drooped saliva is actually contaminated, the fodder or this infected material. So if the susceptible animals take that one, automatically it harbor disease. Salmonella is a typical example because for this foodborne disease. So gastrointestinal parasites actually is in that soil, actually is by grazing. If the paddocks is not actually is well maintained, is free from parasitism, so automatically actually it's things. And then inhalations, tuberculosis is the typical example, aerosol infections. And the contact, foot and mouth, sheep and horses, infected animals, if you contact automatically harbor the disease. Inoculations, that's the most important thing, is bite either by susceptible animals, ticks, whatever things, if bite, it inoculates the organisms to that of the susceptible animals. Iatrogenic, that's the most important thing, it is also transmitted, the actual disease is transmitted by the doctors because of using some contaminated materials, unhygienic kind of things. Then is the coitus. Coitus, brucellosis and trichomoniasis, some of the diseases which is transmitted by intercourse or the coitus and other things. And then now we are coming to that of this health and disease management. So increasing the resistance against a disease by natural immunity or immunity through the vaccination. So actually is the health management means to increase this immune status, that is most important. The immune status may be increased by feeding the colostrum in the young age itself, that is immediately after born, within half an hour to 2 hours, just to feed the animal with that colostrum so that it protect that maternal antibiotic and other things. And then routine vaccination, this is another way to actually boost the immunity of this animal, the susceptible animals and other things. And then routine deworming with broad spectrum antibiotics and balanced nutrition. Balanced nutrition is also another way, actually, because if any stress, automatically this actually is the organisms in our intestine and other things will grow and this causes infection and other things. For example, is proper mineral supplementations, probiotic supplementations, protein rich diet, good pasture management for grazing and other things are highly essential for the balanced diet and other things. But dear friends, actually, please keep it in mind, the mineral mixture that's plays a very vital role, because almost throughout our India is a deficient of minerals. Please supplement the minerals. So actually, as a human being, say an apple a day keep the doctors away, like that. If you feed the animal 30 grams of minerals, definitely actually enhance the body condition of the animal in higher status. It will actually is them. Then another thing is reducing the stress, transport stress leading to the hemorrhagic septicemia. Once actually is stress, automatically the organism in the intestines with flare up the disease and other things. And the diseases of animals. What is disease? Disease means any deviation from physical, mental and social well-being of the individual is called as a disease. It actually is the interactions of the disease is interaction of various agents, virus, bacteria, parasites, fungus, rickettsia, or the host, species specific, breed specific, age specific, sex, immune status, nutritional status, pregnancy stress, so all those things. And another thing is environmental stress also, high temperature, low temperature, high humidity, house improper ventilations, and then rainfall, high rainfall, and this husbandry practice, that is a poor husbandry practice also leads to this disease outbreaks and other things. And I think there is no need to tell much about these common diseases available in livestock. I think all of you know it's a viral, bacterial, protozoan, and other so on other things. And then coming to that of this biosecurity, that's actually the simplest and easiest method to actually to prevent the disease or take care of the things. Then what it means? It is a management process protecting a flock or a herd from infectious disease by virus, bacteria, parasites, fungus, and rickets, etc. Actually, it's a protecting mechanism. It's a process. So it's actually not a single, actually it's a combination of so many processes and other things. Some of the actually it's a protocol. So quarantine of a new and replacement stock. So any animals which is imported is better to have some quarantine. I just have to keep it in the quarantine state, and then after the things that we will discuss in due course of times. Then it's control of rodents and wild animals. That's the most important thing. So rodents, rats, and other things, mice, transmit so many other diseases. And then control of insects, particularly the flies, house flies, mosquitoes, ticks, that's also prone for so many other diseases. And then disease preventive measures at entry point itself is the most important thing. For example, checking of the vehicle and then the visitors, that's the most important thing, because that is a very good source for transmitting disease from other form to that things. And then the prevention, how to prevent it. So prevention is the primary prevention, secondary prevention, and tertiary. So in the primary prevention means prevent the organism before entering to this pathogens. So that is the most important thing. For example, is vaccination, the quarantine. So and secondary preventions after the disease development. Test and slaughter the affected animals or depopulation. So this is a way of preventing the disease. And the tertiary prevention is a treatment of these sick animals. So this isolation. So what is meant by isolation? Suppose in a herd, suppose if disease outbreak, a particular animal is affected, automatically isolate the animal, sick animal from the healthy population, because to prevent the spread of disease, to prevent the contamination of this environment by infected materials excreted by the sick animals, and to prevent the contact transmission to the direct contact or the fomites. Examples: animal affected by foot and mouth, rabies, brucellosis, pox disease, etc., etc., and other things. And then is the quarantine. You must differentiate the isolation and the quarantine. Isolation in a herd, the outbreaks, if affected animals is isolate to the particular place. But the quarantine means is the prevention of transboundary diseases. Any animal is actually the replacement stock imported from foreign countries. It should be in that quarantine shed. So to prevent the new or emerging diseases, examples are mad cow, Britain, actually the Britain in late 90s, thousands of actually the new diseases, and the Rift Valley, the fever and bovine viral diarrhea. And to prevent this transboundary, I already told you, transboundary animal diseases from one country to the other country, because our country is free from this mad cow disease, Rift Valley fever, and this bovine viral disease, diarrhea. And then it should be, the quarantine shed should be 25-35 kilometers away from these human populations. Generally for 30 days it should be in that quarantine shed. Animals should be screened for the exotic diseases. Positive animals should be culled, and before entering into that regular animals, it should be vaccinated for the endemic diseases, and should be done before introduction to that populations. And the eradications. So the eradication also is complete eradications of infected pathogens from the animal populations. It can be achieved by vaccination, quarantine, test, and slaughter policy, depopulation, vector control, good animal husbandry practices, development of genetically resistant breeds, particularly the native breeds, and distinct disinfectant and sanitations. So in these eradications, there are two important things. One is a partial eradication, another is a total eradications. The partial eradication is that eradication particular that is a nation. For example, India is free from these rinderbusts, but the adjacent countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh is actually the. So another thing is a small, that is a total eradication. So this actually is throughout the globe, the pathogens actually smallpox is eradicated. And then test and slaughter. Screening of economically important diseases using rapid screen tests at farm level. Culling of positive animals to prevent spread of disease to the non-infected suspected populations. Example is brucellosis. Screening by rapid plate agglutination test, Rose Bengal test, agglutination test actually prevent the things. And then bovine tuberculosis. So the tuberculin intradermal skin test or paraglobulin test actually is by Jones intradermal test. So that is a test if it's a positive and cull the animal. And then actually is a mass vaccination. This always my advice is the best method of preventing the diseases. So mass vaccination, you must go for at least 80% of this population should be vaccinated to achieve this herd immunity. Vaccination should be done against endemic diseases to prevent the epidemics or this brucellosis and other things. Live vaccines, anthrax, live attenuated vaccines, inactivated vaccines, foot and mouth, inactivated, and the Marex vaccines to differentiate, that is a marker vaccine. This is a marker vaccine to differentiate infected and the vaccinated animals, and recombinant DNA vaccines. Vector control, this is another important program to control the, actually to prevent the disease. To prevent the spread of disease by biological and mechanical vectors using insecticides, acaricides, molluscicides, chemical disinfectant, etc. So biological vector control, trypanosomiasis, control of Glossina flies, babesiosis, theileriosis, anaplasmosis, control of the ticks. And then this fasciolosis and herbanosis. These are some of these things actually going to be. And then reservoir control, that's the most important thing. Reservoir host harbor infection pathogens without developing the clinical signs. That is the most important, because it is a harboring the disease, but without any clinical signs, we doesn't know it. So this is the most important to control the reservoir control. The vampire plates, sheep and goats. Vaccination of the reservoir host is most important, foot and mouth in sheep and goat. Avoid contact between the reservoir host and the several host by good hygienic and other things. Then disinfectant of the fomites. So by using this disinfectant like this 3% Lysol, 10% formaldehyde or sodium bicarbonate, parasite or whatever things, just particularly this potassium permanganate is the best disinfectant available in the use. Then animal husbandry practices, hygienic management, improved non-slippery flow, housing mill, ventilations, regular removal of this manure, that is twice a day, disposal of dead carcass, cleaning animal housing and other things, as other things. Then preventive, and then some monitoring the surveillance of this animal with the status, restrict the animal movement. So these are some of these things I just taken. Then most important thing is whatever things, educate this farming community. That is the most important thing by way of this mode of spread, clinical. This is one is the mode of spread, clinical impact of the animals, clinical emergency management, clinical management, economic impact and zoonotic potential, all those things. Just so in economic, so actually this is the most important thing. Before going to that, actually is educating the farmers, better to assess the economical laws, develop the economic laws, and the same thing is transmitted to the farming community so that they can better understand the things. So this the disposal of the carcass is also highly important things. Actually, it's immediately within 2 or 3 hours, because you must dispose the carcass by burial, or this actually is them by burning and other things. So actually, by this way, actually you can prevent the disease, so that you can maintain that health and disease management of the things. Dear friends, if you have any doubts regarding this subject, what we going for discussed, please visit this Manage website or the teaching materials provided to you. Thank you very much.